Another rise breaks, casting light upon world. Despite for two gentle females, this new dawn brings no solace, no promise of hope. Instead, it's a harsh reminder of confinement, a cruel taunt that they are still caged in the heart of the ruthless mafias. Freedom appears to be a memory. Their mornings, once filled with the sweet songs of birds and the warmth of sunshine, now begin in darkness, along the bleak sound of hard silence of their prison. Their breaths, once lively, now heavy with the weight of their captivity. Their fragile beingness seems like two enlightened stars extinguished by the hand of fate. The females, once radiated and stuffed with life, now move with hesitant gestures. Their laughter and whispers, once music to the ears, are now hushed as if fearful of provoking the oppressive force that devoured them. In the black walled confines, quietness reigns as if the very walls absorb the screams and pleas of divines. The delicate seated on the green velvet couch, their slender forms seemed to float across the plush fabric as if they were weightless, otherworldly beings. Their downy hands rested on the polite refuge of their own lap, like petals on a flower. Their refined hands curled gently as if grasping some fabric to conquer agony. The demonic quietude received scattered by the noise of deliberate strode across the hall when the leaders of brutal empire appeared with mired pace. Weakened forms of birds shrink as if they are willing to be unbloomed rose, their desire to remain folded in their petals revealed. The resolute footsteps slowed before halting near the sitting area. Alongside their own dominance, they carved their heavy physiques on the couch. The Mafia brothers' faces, chiseled and unyielding, seemed carved from granite. Their chairs set in determined lines, boring into the souls of those seated before their regards. The resolute Delio's breathing grew rapid, their fiery chests rising and falling with urgency, their hands frozen, clenched in little fists as if trying to summon a strength they do not possess. Slim bodies began to crumple, limbs folding in themselves like sepals crushed by an unseen hand as horror washed over them. Their beaming eyes brimmed tears. The oppressive silence was a force that suffocated delicate sisters. The presence of mafias was heavy blanket of dark aura that smothered the fragile souls, but then like a whispery secret, the faint fluttering sound of a creature's wings began to pierce the silence. The polite hearts skipped a beat as the soft sound intruded. The delicate female's pearl eyes, brimming with sorrow, drew towards glass windows. Their gaze was captivated by the enthralled creature, a vibrant butterfly and its thin wings wiggling as if trying to escape the darkness of the mansion. As they watched, mesmerized, the butterfly's struggles seemed to echo their stories. The sharp brow lines of Regas deepened while their piercing beholds never let gestures of their beloved escape. They captured how the enchanting beings felt an overwhelming sense of kinship with Neve Flyer, whose only desire was to be free. The girls' heart, heavy with their own anger, swelled with pity for the butterfly. Alluring saw themselves in the butterfly. The glass barrier between the butterfly and freedom seemed to symbolize the boundaries that confined them. They too longed to break from the cage of merciless men and soar into the sunlight. Their own eyes stuffed with tears reflected Flyer's desperation. They felt its pain. The malevolent males found solace to seek the view of Deering's eye, the colorful winged vessel, which is absolutely not more beaming than the hue of their own skin. Despite the reservoir of their eyes, in their lumine eyes didn't get unnoticed by the fierce gaze. Soon the very voice of the Malvados took over the surroundings. Your behold appears to be spellbound. I have seen you compassionately adoring that moth. Do you seek symphony while observing the vessel? I am deeply convinced that you hold endearment for this creature in your heart. Is it that you are fond of this flyer and that you are mesmerized by it? Hearing the hoarse voices and the bleak filled statement of the resilient, slender arms of a radiant sun envelop themselves, similar to the petals closing in a desperate bid of secureness. Their heartbeats that previously found bitter solace viewing the butterfly again throbbed like with uttermost terror. Aurora eyes of small wings diligently swept away from the flying form to the destroyers of their harmony. The grim lines and ruthlessness on Mafia's face only reminds them how their last family member is still lying on cold horizon, drenched in his own red fluid, uncovered with open eyes, distant from honorable funeral. The crystalline droplet takes birth and escapes from the eyes of the divines, floating across the lilac shaded cheeks and dies on the plushy lips. After a while of quietness, they moderately provided an answer to the brothers' a long gesture. Nodding their heads silently, they felt a sense of grief which enveloped their entire. I require an explanation. What hunting memory has stirred the depths of your sorrows? Are these tears a lament for all that has been lost? I conjure you, unveil to me the spectre that perpetually wrenches your heart and shrouds your eyes in impenetrable curtain of agony. The image of our only family haunts us, etched in our minds. With every blink we see his lifeless form bathed in crimson hue of his own mortality. We yearn for a dignified farewell, where he is treated with reverence, wrapped in a shroud of respect, and not abandoned to the mercy of cruel earth. Heavy silence again captured the interior in its shadow. The delegates felt their polite cause drowning. They acknowledged that their desire would be dismissed by the leaders, aware that the beast alike man's doesn't hold any mercy, but the statement of the domain holders only relieved them for a brief moment. Your tears have purchased a fleeting dignity for his corpse. For the sake of your anguish, we shall grant him a burial tomorrow morning. We will permit your trembling hands to brush against his unseeing stare, to seal his eyes shut, and bid him a farewell only to still your sorrows. The darkness of pre-dawn hour cast a somber mood over the rolling hills of the countryside. The city was far removed from quietude of this place. The horizon, a balanced shade of green, stretched out as far as the eye could see. Edge of ground seems to be the end of earth due to fog that conceals further of landscape. In the midst of the serene scene, tombstones stood as poignant reminder of mortality and the cruelness of mafia brothers that digged many enemies to pleasure the name of their family. The regal men who never seek a single sight of this place are now present here, dominating their darkness over the pristine horizon. To the one side of Tombstone's sleek black cars stood like sentinels. The vehicles, polished to high gloss, seemed out of place in this rustic setting, yet they served as reminder of power. The Malvados, dressed in somber suits, stood along their grimness, their shadows towering above the delicate frames of their they had come to offer a respectful funeral to Bingchun after providing a merciless event. The females appeared to lose their strength, their eyes red rimmed from the shaded pearls, the hands as bright as moon clutched the brown wrap on the white roses in their cradle, mourning the loss of their brother alike cousin. Tears of divines gently fell upon the velvety roses they held close to their beingness. The enthralled flowers seems to tremble with each tear as if they are sharing in female sorrow. The onyx hue appears to swallow weakened frames. Unpleasant color of dresses is a testament to pain that had consumed their once pleasant lives. Their reddened cheeks glowed like embers against the pale backdrop of their skin. Their plump lips, once rosy and inviting, now shivered with sobs. Their color drained by the disguise that gripped their cords. A long, quivering pair of hands, Elios placed the roses upon the sand which covers body of their family member. The flowers seemed to settle into the earth as if becoming one with the departed soul. The weightless beings stepped back, their previously radiant eyes fixed upon the tombstone. Circumstances of his death made the scene more poignant. The two males from brutal bloodline had taken life of young men in cold blood, while the Lurings were forced to watch as their only family was going through worse pain, leaving them traumatized and took away any possible reason to smile, making the precious entities barren. The essence of the Mafia Brothers was a constant illustration of loss for humanity and a harsh demonstration of ruthlessness. In the everlasting silence that followed, the female's tears slowly ceased. Their centrals found unsettling stillness to acknowledge that the lifeless body of their brother was no longer bare without a funeral. At least he received a quiet place to rest. Their shaky breaths escaped out from parted lips in the form of soft exhale.
The soft golden light of the setting sun filtered through the grand sweeping glass entrance of dark mansion. It cast a warm ethereal glow over the interior with faintest hint of decay, leading an aura of forgetting grandeur to the scene. But it was against this backdrop that the two beautiful girls, with their pale alabaster skin and radiant swallow-like eyes, began their slow, deliberate descent down the long, majestic staircase. Their slender, elongated fingers seemed to float rather than walk down the stairs. Their porcelain-like features are already illuminating by the soft golden light, as if the very blood had been drained from their veins, leaving only a fragile pallor in its wake. As they are descending, their long raven black hair cascaded down their slim backs, but soon their eyes fell upon one muscled guard in black suit. Man is walking through the hall with purposeful steps. His gaze is fixed on some point ahead. Expressions are cold and straight, oblivious from Lure's innocent gazes on him, as if both are trying to search for something hidden beneath his strike heartless expression with hopeful glossy eyes. Luminous gazes remain sealed on him as if they are waiting for him to perform some unknown task for their lives and freedom, but guard seemingly oblivious to the weight of frightened orbs on him that are now glimmering with faint hope and desperate light within, longing for escape from cage. Soon the men disappeared through the large gate that led to the outside of the mansion. Ari and Azure remained paused on the spot for a moment as if both are holding their collective breaths. The front gate, imposing structure of wrought glass and stone, creaked softly as if swung shut behind. With a shared sense of determination, the incanting beings pushed off from the gate, their slender forms gliding silently across the ominous marble floor as they followed the men out into the cold evening that seemed to swallow both frail wholly with its coolness and tension air filled with terror. When they moved through the dark corridors of mansion, their cardiacs pounded in unison, breaths coming in short, sharp gasps. They could feel the tension of the mansion's oppressive atmosphere bearing down on them, but the frails still pressed on, driven by desperate hope for the freedom. Their eyes fell over the man's retreating back. They felt nervous that what would they say to him? How could they convince him to help them by betraying the mafia leaders? The man Marcus turned to face the allurings by hearing the hesitant but rapid steps towards him from behind as he stood there then. Marcus' expression turned a bit somber as he looked at Azure and Eri. He knew that he is longer worked with the father of girls, that he had long since left the employ of their father, who is now resting in deep sleep. A part of Marcus still remained tied to their father of trust as he sighed heavily. He had once sworn to protect these fairy beings to their father, and the failure to do so weighed heavily on his conscience whenever he saw the fear and desperation that he has witnessed days ago. But now he do work for the mafia leaders from years, but still he felt steps seeing these innocents being dragged in desire of cruel brothers. The crystalline eyes of delicates welled up with tears. Their translucent, luminous lips are trembling subtly. Please help us, we are trapped in eternal darkness, our light extinguishing by the crushing weight of our captivity. Her voice shattered. We are prisoners of those ruthless creatures, drowning in a sea of their desire with no lifeline in sight. Show us some path to unveil from cage. Marcus' expression turned somber, seeing the gleaming tears shining within innocent eyes. With a slow, deliberate note, he signaled them in acceptance. In that instant, a silent plead passed between the fairy forms, who knew that he would do something in power to help them escape or to keep them safe from the dangers that lurk all around their sensitive hearts. They are aware that escaping the captor's clutches would not be easy. As the horns sounded, Marcus had snapped up, orbs scanning the horizon with a growing sense of unease. Fragile entities sensing the tension exchanged a nervous yet terrified glance. Beat sinking with emotions of forbidding, and then, like a dark spectre, two black sleek Maybeths emerges. Their angular silhouettes cutting through the coldness like razor-sharp blades. The Maybeth's metal behind the cars, another convoy of black luxurious vehicles emerged. Headlights blazing like string of fireflies. When soon cruel brothers step out of the car, the air seemed to grow thicker with maniac orbs, dark yet deadly, scanning the scene before them with unnerving intensity that made Luring's blood run cold. With men instinctively step forward after a bow. The mafia's eyes seeming to bore into their souls, whereas the guard knew that they would stop at nothing to get what they wanted. Pristines felt shiver running down their spines, faces etched with worry. They could not bear the thought of being left alone with the regals in their domain. As the resilient, slow dominant steps echoing through the hallway, Bute's heartbeat quickened in unison, their chests heavy with each labored breath by witnessing cruel beats stepped forward with tall bulks and grim chesile features, boring their dark, dismal gazes within their innocence. Just when leaders approached them, Pristine's eyes darted back and forth, their gazes locking onto the sharp-edged faces before quickly looking away. Could not bear the intensity of the elders' stares. When in few moments the ghostly dreading silence broke by the deep yet abysmal voices that lurks. What hubris fed you to believe you could navigate these treacherous walls of mansion when you had been warned for that abysmally? You are not welcome outside the walls of that domain. Your presence is a provocation, so you do well to remember that. We wanted to clear our heads a bit under open sky that feels so breathable after witnessing the gloominess of that looming mansion after hours. We are just here to soak up some fresh air of the evening that just lifted away our suffocation, both shattered unintentionally between words. Incanting slowly parted their lips, their voices barely above a whisper. They spoke in unison, their each word hanging in the air like a looming tension. The heavy, bulky arms of Vigors wrapped around the small waist area, and Azure felt wave of fear and submission wash over their entities to break free. But there's no use. The vicious males are like vice grips, holding them in place with unyielding firmness and gentleness. The brothers began to walk towards the entrance of dark dynasty-like interior with long but steady strides, forcing fiery creatures to move with them, emerging sound of road dust. Buttes dropped their lids, falling to the floor as they felt the dominant man's power and control over their each nerve that are burning with tension, drowning in the agony and sorrows, further unable to escape the unwanted closeness and threatening words of heartless males over them.